What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Turbo John, and we're at the shop. So at Bryan's shop over here, he was nice enough. He's got a little bit of room, and I'm going to assemble the small block Chevrolet and build the whole car over here. The OG Mustang, that's the one I'm talking about. It's been over here in storage for, gosh, 3 years now. Just been outside rusting away. And so if you saw the last, it was probably a couple months ago, we got over here and worked on it. Made some progress. So that was really cool. That was really fun. But now comes the real progress. We got to work on the engine. I've got everything to put this thing back together. Got the heads back from Prince Brothers Racing down in Wilmington or Leland. That was kind of the last piece of the puzzle that I was needing. I guess I probably should have went ahead and put the small block back together, started messing with it, cleaning it, and getting it ready to go, but I just have not. So now that time has come. So let me show you what we got going on. Comment, like, and subscribe. All right, guys, well, y'all have seen this before. This is my all-aluminum small block Chevrolet Brodix block. Everything in here is used. I got this used. This was blowed up when I got it. Danny Perry and those guys ended up fixing the block for me, putting some sleeves in it. So that was cool. They actually had a crankshaft. It is a scat, but it is a forged one or billet one. I don't know if you remember, we beat the thrust bearing out of this thing. You see there's a little bit of clearance back there. But Kevin at TKM, he give us the roller thrust bearing up here. So roller thrust is actually really cool. I've done a video on that as well. Basically, they machined the block, they machined the crankshaft, and it has a washer, a roller Torrington bearing, and a washer over there. And then that makes it so that when you have anything pushing the flex plate, the converter, when you're spooling these things up, it makes it so it pushes here instead of here. So ideally, you know, Kevin was like, we probably need to repair the crankshaft. But, you know, my thought process was, and it's been fine, is that we're just going to let the roller thrust do all of the work up here. Camshaft, this is one that I got off of eBay. I don't remember the specs. It's about 700-inch lift. Remember, we did a video where I showed you how to check that. So that is good. So what we're doing now, got the pistons. This engine does not have a ton of passes on it. We got MGP rods on it. Well, I shouldn't say a ton. I mean, we did rebuild it at some point. The rings and stuff still have plenty of tension. The pistons are good. And if you remember, what happened is we dropped the valve. We had a seat come out. And when the valve dropped, Mark and them had to fix the head. And so they peened a new seat in there, got it best they could. Got the O-ring, the top fuel hoops back in those. I did order these, got these in from TKM. These are the actual O-rings, and they're one-piece stainless steel instead of like normal fire ring stuff. Got all my rocker arms, got T&D rockers on there. That is a used set of rockers, but that's going to be fine for what we got. So essentially what we're going to do today, this is the part that really got messed up. This is the one that dropped the valve, and you see it really damaged that. The cylinder wall is not terrible, but it is beat up a little bit, but it's going to be fine. So that was cylinder number 6 there, was the one that actually dropped according to my notes there. So cylinder number 6, but it tore that piston up. And so yeah, this one over here is not terrible. The ringland is not crushed. I mean, these are just CP bullet pistons. I mean, they're nothing exotic. I mean, it really is just that. It is that's the part number, and that's the piston. So we got 2 pistons, and so we're already going to go ahead and change them. Now this CP bullet, I've had good luck out of these. These came from, the first time I ever ran these was Richard Coates Racing Engines. He's like, man, let's try them. And dude, he was on point. I love them, man. They have been super good pistons. Hadn't even opened these up. So bam, look at there. You can't get the upgraded pins with them. I don't know if that's the 200 wall. We'll have to measure them. I think these are the 210 or something, so we'll reuse the pins. There's nothing wrong with these. You see the difference in the pin thickness, which we could have got those. So, wow, that is nice and shiny. They have not been that shiny in forever. So we will go through also and just make sure, deburn any sharp corners, make sure there's nothing in there sharp, and then we'll be good to go. So I think that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get that done. Just swap these pistons onto these rods. They do have the little C-clip things on them down there. They're kind of a pain in the butt, but I think it's going to be okay. What do you think? You like it?
It sounded like you were talking to yourself, so I was going to investigate.
Right.
I was like, oh, he's losing it.
YouTube life.
He's losing it. Talking to the tools.
Right. The bad thing is nobody's talking back. The tools are not talking back.
You're pretty good at it,
Right. So Bryan, he's going to be out racing again this year. Big Block Chevrolet. Remember last year, he had a block failure. So he's got to figure out what he's going to do, if he's going to put a block in it, or if he's going to, what he's going to do exactly. So there goes our part number on the Pistons. God, they are so pretty. Wow. I mean, they are like really pretty. Same part number. So we're good to go. Okay. So that is, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do right now. We'll come back in just a second. Hang on. Ta-da! Movie magic. That one is off and the new ones are on. So you do have to make sure. Now, these pistons, so like on a small block Chevrolet, the valve pattern, you have to look. So like the two center chambers, the exhaust valves are always there. So, but these chambers, reliefs on the piston here, it's got domes, but this one can go on either one. It doesn't matter. So if we had custom pistons, then like you would have an intake valve here and exhaust here where it'd be smaller, but you see how they're the same size. So it doesn't matter which hole it goes in. That's one reason I really like these pistons. So CP Bullet, I mean, they don't have a ton of ring land on them. We've made about 1,800 horsepower with these things though. So, you know, I think it's pretty good. Probably not recommended. It comes with rings, everything. So these are file fit, so we will have to file fit these, and then we'll be set. So pistons are now all ready to go. We'll clean all the rest of them up. And then we do have to, on these, like I said, file fit them in those cylinders. But we're going to stick the rest of them together. Okay, so that's going to be it for tonight. We'll come back, video tomorrow will be us putting this together. And look, I've got a bunch of pistons and rods on our website. If y'all want some of these, we'll be happy to sign them. Turbo John, if y'all are interested in buying some broke parts, if you like desktop, that's actually a pretty cool one right there, right? I don't know that you have to sign it on the edge there, but we got some. I got some other pistons and rods too I found the other day. So if y'all want some cool stuff, go to our website, turbojohnracing.com. All right, guys, day number 2, movie magic. I just lubricated up the thrust bearing in here, so just use regular motor oil with that. Sprayed it off, cleaned it out. All these journals are pretty good. You can see there's a few little marks, but you can't really feel that with your finger, so I think we're okay. So Brannon came over to help some today. What's up?
What's up?
He's here helping out some. So he's going to help assemble the motor. He's going to be the torquer today. Well, I don't know if he's going to be the torquer or not.
We'll be the QA.
QA, quality assistance, quality assurance, assistance. I'm gonna call it assistance. So, okay, so we got these. Like I said last night, we got the new pistons on. So the two here that have the pistons, we do have to file fit those rings. So we're gonna do those last. So let's go ahead and get the other ones cleaned up real quick, and we'll stick those in. I did also find, I bought one of these installers that should make life go a lot easier than a regular spring compressor. I'm gonna clean these up, get all the dirt and the grime out of them. Like I said, some people, you know, they might disagree, but the rings I'm gonna leave on it. The bearings, you can see the bearings hardly have any passes on them. Well, that's not true. They have a lot of passes on them, but there's hardly any wear in the bearings. Why is my camera not zooming? There it goes. Look. So there is hardly any wear on the bearings. All the rod bearings look good. We just had a mechanical failure. So when it dropped the seat, I mean, this engine was running really good. So that's the reason, that's all we're changing. So let's clean them up real good. We do use WD-40 to lubricate the rings. That is a trick that Bryan and Harold showed me. I mean, you can use oil, but WD-40 usually works pretty doggone good. So let's clean them up, slap them in. All right, guys, we're getting closer. 4 pistons are in. We have a 5-cylinder. So we're working on this last one over here now. So I just wanted to show you real quick. I decided not to time lapse. people don't like all my music, so it is what it is. But make sure the rings are opposite. So you see the top ring is right there, the second ring is right there. Oil ring is good and loose. Oh boy, look at that. That right there about being a problem. Look, did y'all see that? That's why you got to be careful when you're putting this thing together. So I use Lucas for my actual Baron lube here. Lucas works really good as a, they say it on the bottle, it works really good as an assembly lube. And I really do, it really is. So we'll put a little bit of oil down in there. Now, I do have a problem. These MGP rods, they got L19 bolts on them. The bolts are L19, so they're, they talk about like embrittlement with hydrogen and water. I have not had any issues, but I'm supposed to be using 50 weight motor oil to actually take this and torque them down, so I don't have 50 weight. So what I'm doing is I'm lightly putting it together, and I'm using my 5W20, 10W30 motor oil. And so we're just putting it on threads, and you just torque them down 10 foot-pounds or so. And that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with my Lucas 50 weight, and then we'll take these out one by one when I torque them, and then we'll get the proper oil on it. So you want to oil on the threads, and you want to oil under the bottom of the head, because there is a washer in there, so it's not on metal, but you want it to, or it's not on aluminum, but you want that to spin freely. So you could use a torque rod bolt stretch gauge. That's why they got the dimples in them. I do not have that. I've never done it. I just use torque. These MGP recommends 90 foot-pounds on these. So what I just did is I lubricated this up really good with WD-40. So now we're gonna slide these in real quick. Check this out. Okay, so we got a lot of Lucas on here. Put the Lucas on here. Make sure you don't want to get it on the parting lines if possible. But you do want it on the sides, especially the sides that go up against other rods and the sides that go up against the crank. Now, we have had pretty good luck with these going together. Remember, these rings are used. They have been on the pistons. So let's see if this one goes together like the other ones have. It probably won't because I got the camera on, but they have been going down in there pretty doggone easy. So pretty easy, get it in there, make sure you're not gonna hit the crankshaft. And then if you're lucky, it'll push right down in there. Boom, you see that? Not movie magic. Sometimes you have to take it and kind of pop, 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 pop with a hammer. But they're fit snug, and that feels really, really good. So the other thing you do is while it's down there, I'll go ahead and take the cap, and I'm gonna lubricate the bearing on this side. So lubricate the cap, bearing, a little bit of Lucas, spread it out, same thing, put the motor oil on the threads, even though I'm gonna come back and use the other motor oil, the 50 weight Lucas when I get back. Just want to lubricate it really good. And I guess you could use ARP, but you always want to follow the instructions. You want to follow the instructions of the people have the rods. Make sure the cap goes on right. So the proper way for the cap is the bevel always goes over to the actual crankshaft. And then boom, they're in there almost.
You talking to yourself again?
Yes, talking to myself again. Video. I am. I got a video over there on that thing. Is that the low volt, the non-chlorinated?
No, this is extremely flammable. I sprayed about half a bottle of that in the generator and one time I was backfiring of it.
Yeah, and then it's like, no.
I was like, why is it spitting flames at me?
Non-flammable.
Yeah. I looked down and it said non-flammable.
Yeah, you're like, okay. All right, guys, so now what you want to do, something you always want to do to check this thing, is you want to kind of wobble the piston. Look, so it's got to wobble. If it don't wobble, then that means a ring is messed up. If you torque down a cap and it don't turn, then that means you've got the cap on backwards. So it'll lock it down. So always make sure that it is easily movable. And this one, you can actually turn it by hand. But let me find the wrench. All right, so Bryan in here working on some stuff too. Appreciate him letting me use the assembly room. So this right here, now see how this easily moves? Hardly no tension. It moves, but as it's going together, it's going to get more and more tension. But there you go, top dead center, push it, and it still wobbles. So that is butter, baby. All right, guys, very important when you're messing with piston rings here. This is the oil ring. The oil ring is the wiper ring. That's what keeps the cylinders clean. You have two gaps. You have a ring on top and a ring on the bottom. So these two ring gaps are opposite. But what I want to show you real fast that is happening, and it's happened twice on this piston. And you just got to be careful when you're putting this thing together. See how that is popping out? If you try to assemble it like this, you're going to have problems. So make sure when you're putting oil ring on it, you pay attention and do not let it do this. So take it back apart, put the center ring in first, gently wrap one of them around and gently wrap the other one around. And you should be able, when it's all said and done, it'll move as a group like this one. It'll move as the whole thing. And you notice this one right here, when I try to squeeze it, I can feel that it's not feeling right. And then you want to just make sure, because that is important. 2 days later, it feels like, the ring is now proper. There's a gap. There's the butt part. They're butted together. They're not overlapping. Now we got to file fit the rings. Now, file fitting the rings is not for the faint of heart, the way I do it. All right, so let's look at the rings. So the compression rings are here. Oil ring is there. Now, the second ring is basically considered a second oil ring. They call it a compression ring, but the reality is if that puppy right there is not making compression, then this one ain't either. So, and they're a different material. You can see they look different. They have a different tension on them. So the tension is a little bit different material. If you don't know, which these guys, they actually label them. So 1, 2, 3 says you can't really screw this up. But if you don't know, this is what they call a Napier second round ring. It's basically an oil scraper. Look on this outside edge. Let me zoom in. Woo, boys. All right, you see that right there? Actually, that's not a Napier. Looking at it, I thought it was.
Is it done yet?
No, it is. No, it's not done yet. 10 hours later. Okay, yeah, it is a Napier. It's hard to tell, but you see the little piece that's gone. Let me show you what it looks like on the side here. So that's what it looks like, that one right there. And basically it's just an oil scraper. So that one goes down, and so it just scrapes oil down to the oil rings, and then the oil rings, some of the holes on the bottom of the piston feed the pins. So that's your second ring, and this is your top ring, and there is a bevel on it. So the bevel goes up on this one. So now we have to gap the rings. Bryan, what kind of gapper you got?
All three kinds. Which one would you prefer?
You got a side grinder?
Yes.
Side grinder's easiest. Not for the faint of heart. Takes a lot of material. Do you actually have a ring gapper though?
Yeah.
I ain't never used a ring gapper.
So
I'll probably screw it up.
You don't have to gap those bottom rings you just put on?
No, they have plenty of clearance normally. I didn't check it. But so Bryan may have a gapper. We may use a regular gapper.
I do have a gapper.
I don't think I want to use it though.
I don't know where it is.
Last time I tried to do it, I went too much and it
I
ended
love
up being
that
worse.
thing. I won't use anything but that.
We should use the
I usually use a side grinder. A chainsaw would work. I mean, so yeah. So okay, let's gap them real fast. So Bryan found the manual one.
It's been a little hot.
That one survived the fire. Literally, all it is a cutoff wheel. Everybody talks crap about my cutoff wheel stuff.
Yeah, that's what you do it with.
I mean, that's what it is. That's exactly. I mean, it's exactly what it is.
I've got a new one right here somewhere.
Now this one is old. This one's old. This one has been around for a very long time. So I just prefer to do it by hand with like a little side grinder, just a little. Bzzz. All right, he did find his good one. So that thing's kind of hard to do, right? I mean, I'm used to doing it by hand. Basically, what you do is you take this thing, you put it in here. You have to pull it back off of this a little bit so that it can, get what it needs to be, and square it up in there, tighten it down. I have to use two hands here apparently. So right there, tighten it down there. And so now you look at the feeler gauge and we say, okay, well, we're at 0 here. And so now with this tightened down, it is square. You just touch it and it pulls it off. And it gently, I don't know that I would go a ton, but that's how you do it. And then that's how you know exactly how far you're done. This professional advice is brought to you by Turbo John Racing. I wouldn't do it the way I do it, but seriously. So it is, so we got that ring down in there. We take the piston and push it down in there square. And I think we did on this engine, I always like to have the bottom gap just a little bit bigger than the top gap. The thing that sticks out in your head is if the bottom gap is a little wider than the top, any combustion allows it to go through. So I'm going to do 35 and 32. So 32 on the top, 35 on the bottom.
There's your way.
Look, there's my way. Look, I'm going to screw this first one up. Watch. You think so? I'm going to try to do it.
I love that thing.
I'm going to try to do it
Once
with
I
that.
figured out how to make it work, I won't never use that again.
Man,
My
usually.
whole life I've used that.
Yeah, I mean, it just.
That thing's awesome.
Okay, well, we're fixing to try it. Okay, so let's measure it up real fast and see. We'll be back in a minute. All right, boys. 1,800 horsepower capable small block Chevrolet. We got them all done. Don't let me forget. I did not torque these. They're just snugged up. But don't let me forget that I've got to take these things and retorque them when I get the proper 50 weight oil. Not a big deal. Wish I would have brought it, but I didn't. And you can see this thing spins over. And spin it over by hand. This thing right here is not really hitting on much. So it feels good. So I think we have an assembled short block here. I got my heads over there in the corner. So we're almost ready to go. So we're getting closer here. My plan was to actually have the heads on it tonight. But, man, those oil rings kind of fought me that I was showing you earlier. So we got it all together, though. So I think we're good. One of the things I always do, well, I think I already told you about rocking it in the bore. You can see it move and rock. And that's how you can tell that none of your rings are stuck, generally. If you cannot do that, very important to pull it back out, and then you're good. The ARP little installer there is amazing. So I think we're in good shape. Appreciate Bryan and Brannon helping me out tonight. So it's always fun. Yeah, he got a little bit of grease on his hands.
I feel like they love me again. I was going to ask a bunch of questions.
Right? We don't get to come over here much. Brandon did ask a lot of questions. He did a lot of smack talk. I mean, about me and the freaking rings. But I mean, it's hard, and they're complicated. Ain't that right, Dozer? Yes, it is. So we're done for the night. So we almost have a short block. Well, actually, no. I guess we do have a short block. I mean, all I got to do is don't let me forget to torque them. But other than that, we're good. So, yeah. All right, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. Next video on this one, maybe we'll have this thing completely assembled. Heads on it, intake on it, ready to drop in the car. And we got a few things we got to do to the car to get it so that it's ready to go. All right, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. See you.